this day, the service, commitment, dedication, and gifts of Joseph Murray, who devoted himself to the defense and safety, the well-being and honor of our country and our community.
Mr. Joseph Murray held many titles in his lifetime. He was dedicated to the U.S. Marine Corps, two American heroes who survived the battles of the Pacific, including the worst battle of Iwo Jima, where he was awarded the Bronze Star. Joe held multiple roles in his hometown of Brookfield. He helped form the Brookfield Police Department and he raised funds for our first diesel that he ever had in the 60s. He was fireman, a selectman, police chief, constable, water commissioner, notary public, deputy chief, driver ed teacher, and a lifeguard. And he was also a police officer in the towns of Warren and Barnstable for many years. But his most important role in his life was being a husband, a father, grandfather, and friend to so many.
Boy, Brookfield knows how to do a dedication. This is fantastic, absolutely wonderful. And to the Marines behind me, thank you so much. And for this younger Marine, you are in, look at the footsteps that you can follow. These guys, you know it, right? But this is a fantastic group and we appreciate all that you do. When you mentioned Bob Wilder, because I was thinking about him today too, because he had called me probably about a year and a half after this was proposed. And if he was here, his words probably wouldn't have been as nice as yours because he was ticked off in no uncertain terms. He was not happy that there could have been any opposition to having this bridge name for your husband, to have this bridge name for Joe. And when Bob passed away this past year, of course he was buried in his Marine dress uniform. And on his prayer card that I have with me, that I keep in my car, is this, for the Iwo Jima. The Iwo Jima. Because he was, he was a Marine through and through. And if he was here today, he would be so pleased. And I know that he would have gone, because he was such a great historian, and he would have talked about Joe, and he would have talked about the Battle of Iwo Jima. He would have talked how when the poor Americans, when they first set foot on that island, how were they to know that the Japanese that were there had made a pledge that they would take out 10 Americans, every one of them? How would they know that, the type of odds that they would face when they set foot there on February 19th? And less than a month later, when they left that island, that 6,800 Marines would be killed. More than 20,000 injured. And Joe Murray walked out of that battle with a Bronze Star. Came back, came to this community, and as Linda mentioned, was such a big part of this community. From all sorts of positions he held. Did you say sealer? Wasn't he sealer weights and measures too at one time? I mean, he was everything, right, Carolyn? He was absolutely everything. And the generations of kids that he touched over at Warren, and the stories that they'll tell of him cartwheeling down the hallways, or telling them that they had to march from class to class. He was absolutely one of a kind. And we couldn't be more proud that he was one of this community. And I am so fortunate that I had an opportunity to know him, to meet him, to sometimes be on the end of some of his comments as well. But he was absolutely wonderful. And I know Steve Brewer felt so bad that he could not be here today because Steve was such a good friend. Steve is celebrating his anniversary, and he's actually in Montreal. And he said to me, if he doesn't go with Valerie, he's not going to see next year's anniversary. But on behalf of Steve, he wanted to make sure I'm going to give this to you. It's a flag that he wanted you to have. And on behalf of Donnie and I, at the State House, we have the Marine Corps League has a permanent office at the State House. And every February 19th, they have Iwo Jima Day. And the gentleman was kind enough to give me one of the pins, commemorative pin that they have, that they give to the folks that day. And he's sorry he was not able to be here. He knew that other members of the Marine Corps would be here, but he wanted you to have this specifically. So thank you and God bless you. And happy Memorial Day to everyone.
The town rose up, used the democratic process, and unanimously wanted to name this bridge after one of their fallen heroes. And that's what we do here today. So Ann and I have a citation that we're going to present to Linda that actually says that. Congratulate you and the people that made this happen. Just for what you did. Father, grandfather, Marine, teacher, first selectman, police chief, water commissioner, notary public, constable, justice of the peace, civil defense director, vice principal, mentor, and friend. Many people wear more than one hat in a lifetime. Joseph F. Murray, in his 87 years, had a closet full. The most important being a loving husband to Carolyn and an inspiring father to his children. Good morning, my name is Eric Murray and I'm a lieutenant with the Connecticut State Police. And having served as a police officer for over 30 years in Massachusetts and Connecticut, my career began in Brookfield, and I'm proud to call this place home. And on behalf of my mother Carolyn and our family, we are grateful to the Bridge Memorial Committee for their hard work and dedication. And I am honored to speak as we pay tribute to the distinguished community service and legacy of a man named Joseph F. Murray, my father. The 19th century French writer and poet Guy de Maupassant wrote, "You have never lived until you have almost died. And for those who fight for it, life has a flavor the protected will never know." This time last year, my wife and I visited Normandy, France. And as I looked across the English Channel, I imagined waves of young men crashing ashore on the sandy beaches of Utah, Omaha, Gold, and Juneau. I thought of my father as a 19-year-old Marine who on D-Day, February 19, 1945, stormed ashore the black sand beach of a little-known volcanic island named Iwo Jima. An island fortified with over 23,000 desperate and determined Imperial Army soldiers lying in wait to unleash hell's fury on the Marines, my father and his friends. It was grit and determination that overcame the resistance and secured the island after a month of fierce fighting. The battle was instrumental in ending the war with Japan, and it's been immortalized by the iconic photograph of the Marine Corps flag raising atop Mount Suribachi. Though the Marines were victorious, it was not without significant loss. Over time, my father shared memories of the war. He was proud of his fellow Marines, and one in particular, Charles Shootman from Maine. After Shootman was hit by sniper fire, Joe, armed with only a knife and behind enemy lines, ran to his aid. Shootman's life was cut short that day, and he was posthumously awarded the Silver Star. My father was awarded the Bronze Star with a Combat V device for his actions. And mention of Shootman's name brought subtle tears to my father's eyes. Shootman and many like him died on that island for a noble and worthy cause, fueling Joe's passion for living. It is not clear why one man's life is taken and another's is spared. Joe vowed to honor the loss of his fallen comrades through a lifetime of service to others. At Normandy, I walked the cemetery set upon the bluff overlooking Omaha Beach and looked across the manicured lawn that is the final resting place for over 9,000 American soldiers. Endless rows of simple white crosses mark each grave. I watched from a distance a man staring at a marker. He began to weep, and I knew it was a very personal moment, so I turned and walked toward the semicircular monument supported by the granite pillars at the far end of the cemetery. And with the words are inscribed, "Think not only upon their passing, remember the glory of their spirit." This special place may likely cause some of us to shed a tear when we visit, reminding us of the simplicity, humility, and beauty of the man who was my father, Joe Murray, who chose to enjoy the flavor of life as suggested by the French writer. It is a timeless tradition that Americans honor their fallen, and our family is grateful to so many in this community who have come together to honor Joe Murray. In the solitude of our personal reflections, we shed tears for the loved ones lost. There are days like today we remember the glory of their spirit. Thank you.
Day to honor and remember a true American hero, Mr. Joseph F. Murray. Our town holds some very special history, and we think it is very important to remember and honor it. By dedicating our beautiful new river bridge to Joe and building this memorial center, we feel that we can always remember him and all the wonderful things that he did. I would like to acknowledge the other members of the memorial committee. Bruce Clark, with help from his wife Linda. Bill and Sandy Pratt. Without the vision and the hard work of the Memorial Committee, the support of the Murray family, friends of Joe's, and of all of our community, we could not hold all of this up. Thank you all so much for your help and support.
Those grandchildren will be the unveiling of the sign.
you who are Joe Murray's family, fellow citizens, colleagues, friends, in many ways, members of professions that he has been part of, teachers, Marine, service personnel, first responders, all of you by your very presence this day. Honor and glory to this occasion.